Céad Míle Fáilte. Welcome to the Treasured Tales of Ireland, a place where you can come and listen to the many myths, legends, folk tales, and fairy tales of the Emerald Isle, helping to keep the stories of the past alive. Céad Míle Fáilte. Welcome to the Treasured Tales of Ireland, a place where you can come and listen to the many myths, legends, folk tales, and fairy tales of the Emerald Isle, helping to keep the stories of the past alive. My name is MyLinda Butterworth, and I will be your teller of tales. I hope you'll join me each week for new stories. If you enjoy my work, then please like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Additionally, be sure to explore my other story collections for many tales. Before we begin, please note that if you're using the closed caption feature of this video, many Irish names do not sound the way they appear, and we've made every effort to pronounce them correctly. Now, let's get started. Today we continue with the Book of the Fianna with the story of O-sheen's mother, part 4 of 5, episode 27. It happened one time. Finn and his men were coming back from hunting. A beautiful fawn started up before them, and they followed after it, men and dogs, till at last they were all tired and fell back, all but Finn himself and Bran and Sceolan. And suddenly, as they were going through a valley, the fawn stopped and lay down on the smooth grass, and Bran and Sceolan came up with it, and they did not harm it at all, but went playing with it and licking its neck and its face. There was wonder on Finn when he saw that, and he went on home to Alhuin, and the fawn followed after him, playing with the hounds. And it came with him into the house of Alhuin. And when Finn was alone late that evening, a beautiful young woman having a rich dress came before him, and she told him it was she herself was the fawn he was after hunting that day. And it is for refusing the love of Fear Doirche, the dark druid of the men of Jaw, she said, I was put in this shape. And through the length of 3 years, she said, I have lived the life of a wild deer in a far part of Ireland, and I am hunted like a wild deer, she said. And he said that if I was once within the doon of the Fianna of Ireland, the druid would have no more power over me. So I made away, and I never stopped through the whole length of a day till I came into the district of Alhuin. And I never stopped then till there was no one after me but only Bran and Sceolan that have human wits, and I was safe with them, for they knew my nature to be like their own. Then Finn gave her his love, and took her as his wife, and she stopped in Alhuin. And so great was his love for her, he gave up his hunting, and all the things he used to take pleasure in, and gave his mind to no other thing but herself. But at last the men of Lochlan came against Ireland, and their ships were in the bay below Bain Adar, and there they landed. And Finn and the battalions of the Fianna went out against them and drove them back. And at the end of 7 days, Finn came home, and he went quickly over the plains of Alhuin, thinking to see Céad, his wife, looking out from the dune. But there was no sign of her. And when he came to the dune, all his people came out to meet him, but they had a very downcast look. Where is the flower of Alhuin, beautiful, gentle Céad? He asked them. And it is what they said. While you were away fighting, your likeness and the likeness of Bran and Sceolan appeared before the dune, and we thought we heard the sweet call of Fianna, and Céad, that was so good and so beautiful, came out of the house, they said, and she went out to the gates, and she would not listen to us, and we could not stop her. Let me go meet my love, she said, my husband, the father of the children that is not born. And with that she went running out towards the shadows of yourself that was before her, and that had its arms stretched out to her. But no sooner did she touch it than she gave a great cry, and the shadow lifted up a hazel rod, and on the moment it was a fawn was standing on the grass. 3 times she turned and made for the gate of the dune, but the 2 hounds in the shadow had with him went after her and took her by the throat and dragged her back to him. And by your hand of valor, Finn, they said, we ourselves made no delay till we went out on the plain after her. But it is our grief they had all vanished, and there was not to be seen woman or fawn or druid. But we could hear the quick tread of feet on the hard plain, and the howling of dogs. And if you would ask every one of us in what quarter he heard those sounds, he would tell you a different one. When Finn heard that, he said no word at all, but he struck his breast over and over again with his shut hands, and he went then to his own inside room, and his people saw him no more for that day, or till the sun rose over Moy Leaf on the morrow. And through the length of 7 years from that time, whenever he was not out fighting against the enemies of Ireland, he went searching and ever searching in every far corner for beautiful scythe. And there was great trouble on him all the time, unless he might throw it off for a while in hunting or in battle. And through all that time he never brought out to any hunting but the 5 hounds he had most trust in, Bran and Sceolan, and Lomora and Brod, and Lom Lua, the way there would be no danger of scythe if ever he came back on her track. But after the end of 7 years, Finn and some of his chief men were hunting on the sides of Bain Gulboyne, and they heard a great outcry among the hounds that were gone into some narrow place. And when they followed them there, they saw the 5 hounds of Finn in a ring, and they keeping back the other hounds. And in the middle of the ring was a young boy with high looks, and he naked, having long hair. And he was no way daunted by the noise of the hounds, and did not look at them at all, but at the men that were coming up. And as soon as the fight was stopped, Bran and Sceolan went up to the little lad, and whined and licked him, that any one would think they had forgotten their master. Finn and the others came up to him then, and put their hands on his head, and made much of him, and they brought him to their own hunting cabin, and he ate, and he drank with them, and before long he lost his wildness, and was the same as themselves. And as to Bran and Sceolan, they were never tired of playing about him. And it is what Finn thought. There was some look of scythe in his face, that it might be he was her son, and he kept him always beside him. And little by little, when the boy had learned their talk, he told them all he could remember. He used to be with a deer he loved very much, he said, and that cared and sheltered him. And it was in a wide place they used to be, having hills and valleys and streams and woods in it, but that was shut in the high cliffs on every side, that there was no way of escape from it. And it used to be eating fruits and roots in the summer, and in the winter there was no food left for him in the shelter of a cave. And a dark-looking man used to be coming to the place, and sometimes he would speak to the deer softly and gently, and sometimes with a loud, angry voice. But whatever way he spoke, she would always draw away from him with the appearance of great dread on her, and the man would always go away in great anger. And the last time he saw the deer, his mother, the dark man was speaking to her for a long time, from softness to anger. And at the end he struck her with a hazel rod, and with that she was forced to follow him, and she looking back all the time at the child, and crying after him that anyone would pity her. And he tried hard to follow after her, and made every attempt, and cried out with grief and rage, but he had no power to move. And when he could hear his mother no more, he fell on the grass, and his wits went from him. And when he awoke, it is on the side of the hill he was, where the hounds found him. And he searched a long time for the place where he was brought up, but he could not find it. And the name the Fianna gave him was O-sheen, and it is he was their maker of poems and their good fighter afterwards. And here's where I end my tale for today. But I'll be back with more tales, many more tales. Until then, my friends, enjoy the journey. Slán go fóill. Bye for now. If you enjoyed this story, please give us a thumbs up and comment. It truly helps us.